What's up, One Piece fans? It's time for the latest piece of One Piece, chapter 1132, after the long break, entitled An Adventure in Elbaf. Now, this chapter, honestly, when it came out in the scans and stuff like that, it was almost impossible to follow. There were some pages missing or that wouldn't load on a lot of the different sites. Plus, they were out of order a lot of the time. It was a nightmare. It was an honest nightmare to try to get through and stuff like that. So I waited until I could, because I got the gist of it. I understood exactly what happened and pieced most of it together in my head. And then finally I said, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait until the official comes out and then make sure that I've got the whole gist of it, that nothing was actually missed, right? That's the problem with getting the early stuff, is that sometimes, not only are the translations sometimes wrong or bad, you can get the page order mixed up, you can get panels mixed up, you can get anything mixed up. So, but that being said, yeah, so I still think that this was a quite fast-paced, alright, hurry up, we're in Elbaf, let's go. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden we had started this adventure off on the worst possible foot, similar to Egghead, you know what I mean? The group was separated, right? And our allies didn't even know we had arrived, right? So we had the three separate groups. We had, at the end of last chapter, we had Luffy down in the underworld talking with Loki, who's chained to the tree. We had the rest of the original Straw Hat crew up above, trying to, fend off and get away from Road and all this stuff like that. And they were like, hey, we got to go this way while Luffy's going that way and stuff like that, right? And we had the Giants, Gerd and them, looking for Road and going after Road and stuff like that. And we had Dorian Broggy and the Great Eric and their whole ship. We had the remainder of the Straw Hat crew on that, and it was just like, okay, how many chapters, how many months are we going to wait until they're all reconvened? And it's like, here's all the Giants, here's all the people, here's Elbaf, yay, let's have a big party. Apparently, very, very soon. Apparently, because, and I found that very strange, especially after the long break. Like, Oda split them all up. Luffy, I get. Luffy, for the sole purpose of what we're going to talk about in this chapter, the whole promise with Loki. And, of course, Luffy is so very bad at keeping secrets that this makes a whole lot of sense. Realistically, this makes a whole lot of sense. Why he's still, nervous, oh, I'm not supposed to say anything. Loki told me not to. And we don't know what the full conversation was there. But, suffice it to say, Luffy obviously seems to be under the impression that he's not going to say anything about Loki, about meeting Loki in the underworld, that kind of idea, for whatever reason. Maybe he promised him endless meat or something like that, you know what I mean? Maybe something so simple, and he's like, yeah, alright, I'll give you meat for life if you go get the key. Alright, let's do this, you know what I mean? And so he's like, no, I can't tell them anything. Endless meat, keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? I think it's something like that. I don't think Luffy's actually scared of Loki or anything like that. I think it's literally something foolish like that. Like, Loki's like, oh, hey, you want meat? I will feed you meat for the rest of your life. I will give you a banquet of meat every day for life. Just get me out of here. You know? He's like, really? You can give me free meat. As much meat as I want. Every day. Alright, let's do this. And he does not want to give up that dream. Luffy might have a crazy great dream. This might be his One Piece dream. But that is a dream of Luffy 110%. So, that being said, though, the chapter goes on to... can't even speak today. And I'm not editing this. I'm too tired. We follow the cover page serial with the fact that Udon Castle is now currently under construction, being rebuilt. There's still, of course... Tama with Speed and Yamato are still looking for the thief or thieves that have taken the swords and such like that, right? So we're continuing that cover page, and then we start off the chapter with the little bar island sort of idea, that the sort of right before you enter Elbaf proper, that kind of idea. And there, we have the little Cullen guy yelling like, "Yay, are you guys gonna stop and drink at the pub before you hurry on?" And they're like, "No can do. We're heading on over," and stuff like that. And Cullen seems to be so inspired, so happy. It's like, yeah, Shanks is so cool, and now he told us about Straw Hat Luffy, and Straw Hat Luffy's supposed to be here. He's so cool. I want to go see him, and blah, 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 blah. So we cover all that stuff, and Hiruden knows that he's back, and Stanson, and all these guys. It's like, hey, it's the Great Eric. Is Straw Hat Luffy with you? Is my Emperor with you? You know, because, of course, he's part of the deal. And we see this huge rainbow, you know, coming out by the giant sword in the part of Elbaf and stuff like that. And they talk about this. The giant rainbow that's so close, and it's like, yeah, this is Rainbow Road. Have you guys never played? Like, it's so funny. They're like, yeah, we paint this shit, and then with this sunstone, and it's like, wait, what? And obviously the Rainbow Road, very similar, you know, the Bifrost, that kind of idea. So we get the reference here, but the idea that it's literally a Rainbow Road, and he's trying to, I think it's Bragi is trying to explain to Jinbei, like, yeah, it's wondrous. You draw them with these things called painters. And he's like, wait, draw them? You mean you created the rainbow? He's like, what? But of course, we're going to ride the rainbow. That's how we get up there. And everyone's like, wait, what are you talking about? It's like, rainbows are literally water vapor. They do not, and Robin's trying to explain this and stuff like that. And they're like, what do you mean rainbows are water vapor? Did you never play Mario Kart 64? It's Rainbow Goddamn Road. Let's go. You ride on rainbows. You do not. They're not water. You can ride on rainbows 100%. And then they literally ride on the rainbow. And it's still got like a wave feature and stuff. So that's really nice. You know, that's really cool. We get a nice scene with them all chilling and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, is Straw Hat there? You know, because Hiruden's going up there too. And he's like, hey, captains, you know, Hiruden, it's been a while, bud. He's like, yeah, no, he's here. Well, some of them are here and that kind of idea. So they discuss that. Luffy somehow immediately just got flung out of the underworld, and I think that's what I missed in the first thing. I was like, so wait a minute now. We had this whole scene with Loki. He seemingly is sprung right up, and he's like, wait a minute, that's my goddamn ship. What are you doing with my ship? And Gerd and them are like, oh, hi, you're Luffy, right? Don't worry. We're just carrying the ship. It's all good. I love humans, you know. I'm not like Road. I'm sorry that you encountered him. You know, it's all good, you know. He's like, you mean that boneheaded guy? Yeah. What about him? You know what I mean? And anyways, they immediately recognize that, wait, you just flew up from the underworld. Did you happen to fall down there? And he's like, and immediately we cut back to a scene, and it's the only scene we see with Loki and Luffy in this chapter of, don't tell anybody about meeting me or our little promise. You got that, Luffy? So what happened? What did he promise? And he's like, that is, you know, and then they eventually end up moving on. Now, Road tries to capture Chopper and Nami, and immediately it's Ewoks in Return of the Jedi level strategy. Boom, there goes the Empire, and boom, Road is done for. So Zoro and stuff, it's like, there's no chance. They beat the crap out of Road anyways and stuff like that. And Luffy meets back up with Zoro and the rest of the Straw Hats, Sanji, you know, Usopp and all them. And this is really nice. This is fantastic because it's like, okay, I was worried, like, how long, like, we've been wanting to go to Elbaf for so long. We're finally actually there proper, you know. We're not going to do this Legoland thing for, like, the rest of the year. We're actually here. This is the giant homeland. This is Elbaf. This is everything that we've been waiting for so long. Usopp has been waiting so long. And it's a major part of his dream. His dream could actually be fulfilled and closed here in this chapter. Or, well, not this chapter, but in this arc. You know what I mean? He could have realized his dream in this arc. This is major for Usopp's character. So I was like, alright, how long are we going to do this shit? And it's like, no, alright. So Luffy fell down to meet Loki for plot devices. And now he's back up there. He met up with the rest of the crew. Meanwhile, they just happened to run into Gerd and them. So they're like, oh yeah, we'll take you right there. Hiruden would love to see you. Our captain would love to see you and stuff like that. So let's all go. And Usopp, Luffy, and everyone's like, let's charge. Let's go see an Elbaf village. I'm so excited to see Elbaf properly. And they all just ride on Gerd's cleavage. I mean, is there a better ride than on Gerd's cleavage? You know what I mean? So, anyways, they continue on. They're getting there. They're explaining that there's 3 realms. There's the underworld, the sun realm, and the heaven realm. And the one that most of them live on is the sun realm. That's where a lot of the villages are. We see this beautiful spread of the village. Luffy's there in wonder. Usopp is just bawling and crying, as he should. You know, he's he's wanted to get here for so damn long, for a few years now. You know, because it was a 2-year time skip, but they traveled for a couple of months. Now they've traveled for another couple of months, which seems so short a time, but it is what it is. But you could argue it's been almost 2.5 to 3 years at least that Usopp has been wanting to come to Elbaf, and finally he's here and stuff. And everyone else is amazed too. Even Zoro's guess what's like, holy, he takes his goggles up and he's like, damn. So it's one hell of a ride, and meanwhile they all meet up. Oi! There's the rest of the Straw Hat crew. Oh, we met up. Perfect timing. I'm like, okay, Oda, what was the point in separating them in the goddamn first place? I just have to ask that, because the Legoland thing went nowhere other than to establish that Road is a creep. Luffy going down to the underworld could have happened with them all arriving in some way, I'm sure. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, okay. Like, I guess it just seems so like plot convenient that like all this was done just to make sure that Luffy went down into the underworld to speak to Loki, and now they all meet up again. It's just really fast for One Piece. It's just really, really fast, and sort of gave me a little bit of whiplash. That's all. But anyway, and then they're all freaking out, like, you know, the Chopper, Usopp, Luffy, classic, you know, the Eneru face thing. Are you guys riding on a fucking rainbow right now? Are you serious? And it's just amazing. It's like, once again, have none of you played Mario Kart 64? You know, so anyways, then we get a final shot. Now, this is by, we get some narration about not lingering on in Elbaf. Now, this is do not overstay. And this is from Louis Arnault, who is an explorer. He was an adventurer. He was one of the narrator people for the Little Garden thing and stuff like that. Similar to the Noland arc and stuff. I don't know how relevant it is. A lot of people are theorizing. And we do see one figure standing alone in the jungles of Elbaf, it seems. Everyone. I even seen Tekken posted a video about it being Shiki. Like, it's definitely Shiki. I'm looking at that, and it's a cloaked figure with looks like one of those, like, monkey masks. You know what I mean? Like the ones with the, you know, the little, like, tuff and stuff like that a lot of the Japanese folk masks. That's what it looks like to me. I don't get how it's Shiki. Where is the indication that that's Shiki? I have no sweet clue. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing, but I have no sweet clue. Apparently, but it's a mysterious figure. Is it Scopper Is it Shiki? Is it Silver Axe? Who is it? You know, it's probably somebody important. I'm sure it is. But that's the chapter. Returning, we get the Straw Hats. I'm actually grateful for it. As fast-paced as I felt it was, and a little jarring that we separated them all. They started having their own little, okay, we're going to go here, you guys are going to go here. And then they meet up for a change. For a change, you know what? It's kind of nice. It's like, oh, we all got separated. What rotten timing. And never mind, we all figured it out in about 2.5 minutes. You know? That actually, you know what? For once, I'm kind of happy about that. So yes, now we can actually start the Elbaf arc properly, and I'm really excited for it. So what did you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'll see all you beautiful people next time for the next piece of One Piece. Looking forward to it. Hope Oda is doing much better now that he's back from break. But once again, as a big One Piece fan, but also a big fan of mangakas and how much hard work they put in general. If he wants to take off half the goddamn year every year so he can continue giving us this story at his pace regarding his health, then I'm good with it. I'm good with it, you know? So, I'm assuming that Oda's feeling much better. If he's produced this chapter, all the quality looks about the same, so I'm assuming he's feeling much better. So, good for that, Oda, and we'll see you guys back here next time. Have a good one. See ya.